Hello everybody. We are going to start with the Ahmedabad chapter. We have a session from Jaideep Jodhpur. He is going to speak about connected leadership. Before starting the session, let me thanks Agile Network India founding sponsor Innovation Roots. Innovation Roots is a leading consulting and training service provider helping organizations to achieve business agility and beyond. It is one of the leaders and pioneers of niche publishing services and well known for content collaboration with global thought leaders, authors, and creators. For more information, log into www.innovationroots.com. Do's and don'ts: join the event 5 minutes before the start time. Use high quality speakers and phones for better sound quality. Please keep your microphone muted and video disabled, as this may cause disturbance and bandwidth issue. Questions will be taken via chat box. Please enter your questions in the chat box. At the end of the session, the facilitator or moderator will help and read out questions to the speakers as per the time available. Please fill the feedback form after the event to help us understand more about the event management. We appreciate your cooperation. So with this, we will welcome Jaideep Jodhpura, who is a Senior Manager Scrum Master at Prompt Softech. Over to you, Jaideep.
Thank you, Prashant. Good afternoon to you all. Thank you for taking your time participating in this session organized by Agile Network India, sponsored by Innovation Roots. Let me introduce myself as a project management professional and Agile practitioner, serving half of the life in the IT industry to small and mid-sized companies, as well as multinational companies like L&T Infotech. I have delivered innovative and cost-saving products, projects, and customized solutions to offshore clients in all verticals like hospitality, healthcare, insurance, real estate, HR, education, logistic, and travel industries through leading, coaching, and mentoring cross-functional and self-organizing teams. I have been accredited by Project Management Institute with the Project Management Professional Certification since 2008 and by Scrum Alliance with the Certified Scrum Master certification since 2014. Recently, I have earned Certified Scrum Product Owner credential. With this short introduction, I would like to share that the session will be interactive and full of reciprocity. That is a give and take. During next 1 hour, instead of being me a mode of presenter and you being an audience, we will be engaging each other by mutually sharing our thoughts and curiosity through questions and answers. By this, we will be able to co-create the value in the form of knowledge, which is not only useful to each one of us, but also to the community as a whole. And this is what the connected leadership is all about. So as we know that currently we are in a midst of perfect storm. The storm is economic uncertainty, the digital revolution, and massive social change, which is threatening our business growth in an unprecedented way. COVID-19 pandemic situation broke every significant social and moral shifts. Business stakeholders now feeling sense of alienation and disconnection. Notions of identity, belonging, community, and collective purpose have all potentially been disrupted by anxiety and mental uneasiness in the system. So it is important that connected leadership has a greater resonance for those leaders supporting their colleagues and stakeholders to navigate and make sense intellectually and emotionally. As we know that no matter how big or small our company, leadership is a linchpin of organizational life. Today, organizations thrive through connected leadership, where leaders are not afraid to be vulnerable, genuinely care about the people, and encourage the collaboration and innovation. Before we embark our journey, let me share the historical event with the most charismatic leader, Winston Churchill. He was a good leader, and he was a good leader as the war hero. On 26 July 1945, it must have been hard for Winston Churchill to believe that the British people he had led to the victory in the Second World War unanimously rejected as a leader. As a leader of a conservative party, he wasn't as appealing as the Churchill, the war hero. Could Churchill be an example of a leader who didn't adapt or who missed a new situation? It is impossible to win a conflict in the scale of a Second World War without engaging each and every one of your generals in the fast moving theater of the battle. Churchill was not a good situation a leader. Yes, he was masterful in his reading of situations. So why is rejected? Where did he go wrong? The fateful 1945 election was in the first in a Britain after 10 years. During the war, Britain was changing. A new consensus was being developed that called for new measures, and these new measures are the social reforms, what people needed and wanted. He was masterful in reading the situation but failed to respond to was not as change in the situation but more fundamental change, a change in a context. Focused on responding in a situation, he failed to sense the broader change, a change of era. As it applies in a political scenario, it also applies in a business environment. So let's see. As he is rejected by the peacetime electors. Now let us see what are the context change we can expect in the business. We will take it one by one. So here I am just showing you the summary. First, I will explain what is the leadership paradox that is currently leader is expecting or just feeling. Currently, economic drivers are change. We will see how those changes are currently applying and what the new economic driver is currently driving the business and economy. Human needs and wants also changed because in today's environment, as this COVID pandemic, and they are just searching for meaning of a life as well as self-actualization. So we also discuss about that change in people mindset. We'll see as a human being, and he will be an employee that is human doing, and he will be a customer as a human wanting. So how he is disconnected in these two roles. See, to cope up with these changes, we need a organizational change. That is, our formal organization alone will not do the this change change challenge, not the face the challenge of uh, this context change, but we will need a new form of organization. We will also see the value creation in formal and real organization, so we can have an idea how connected leadership will lead the business to the value creation. We'll see the several business models like Airbnb, Facebook, and LinkedIn, where we can see the communities are the main driver of business. So, in order to be successful, leaders must adapt to the situation they face. Yet, by focusing on these situations, they often miss the radical shift that are occurring around them. While trying to spot and adapt to changing events, leaders run the risk of missing a change in an era that we have seen. In order to address these short term challenges, they are forced to become short sighted. So currently in the industry, most of the business owner are just facing such situations. They are currently not looking for a long-term vision, but they are handling these tactical situations. But it is also important that we should also focus on the vision. So for that, we need great leaders. Good leaders read the situation in a competitive market, bring back their understanding internally, conduct some analysis to establish the best response, and deploy the solution through their structural teams. Their structural teams may be a functional, multi-divisional teams, or geographical business units. As internal and external complexity grows, structural teams no longer have either all the answers or the solutions. This whole process not only takes time but makes every situation appear more linear than it truly is. So, good leaders are good at engaging employee because they are in their role and in then business more connected. So they're willing to follow, but that's no longer enough to be agile enough to respond to the context change that we have seen. The whole organization, not just its leaders, need to be attuned to stakeholders, changing expectations. Also, to sense a change in the context and have agility to respond, leaders must rely on people outside of the boundaries of their functions, geographic, and organization. So, their intake team must give away to impact teams. Great leaders get customers and partners to follow them by creating a communities and connections that sense changes and co-create responses to them. So let's see what is a people economy. Now, as I have just mentioned that we have a new context, that is a birth of a new context is a people economy. So what we mean by people economy? So before that, let's revisit the consumption economy. It had an elegant simplicity. You build something, they wanted it, customer. They bought it. Over time, oversupply made things more difficult. And brands in one form of other or another were established as a key differentiator. The idea was simple. You still build the product, but now you branded it. They wanted it because it had your brand, it has your brand on it, and they bought it. But slowly, the brand that is lived as an empty slogan, tired of such deaf and mute brands, customers demanded more. And then experience economy was born. Here is how it works. You build a product, but now you create an experience, elegant experience to go with it. They want it because the experience makes them want to be belong to something. They buy it. See, last 20 years have been defined by this thirst of experience. We no longer engage on the basis of a product alone. Aesthetic design and emotional branding have enabled a more involved relationship with the organizations. That this relationship is still fundamentally dictated by the organization and relies on a reductive view of individuals. Namely, as economic agents involved in the transaction. So here the control is with the organization in the, about the economy, but slowly, almost as surreptitiously, changes in the mood of market war generation, customer have learned to like the experience so much that they no longer want to be yours. They want to be in charge. So this experience that is in control of an organization, they are not accepting, or we can say they are reluctant on that. They want to be in charge. And with this also, another context change is the behavior of a people and a customer. A new breed of a customer is being born. One that is changing the very foundation of a business is done. We are witnessing the arrival of a new economy, not technology driven, but this time meaning driven. No longer customer looking for an experience or a employers wanting a salary. Human being is no long for meaning. This has a profound implications for the way as human beings approach the consumerism and consumptions. The people economy as an economy where people rather than organizations are in charge. It is now futile for the organization to build the product, betting on the customer wanting to buy it. The people economy requires organizations to co-create with the customers. This they can only do if they transform themselves into the communities that are the value of self-actualizing customer. So here the point is that uh, generally in our people economy and experience economy, the value creation is solely done by the organization uh, that is in charge, or we can say a business, and the customer's role was to just have a simple choices, and based on their taste they select the choices. But by definition of a people economy, they want to be in charge because they find the meaning, they want belonging, and they want a co-creation. They want to participate in the value creation itself. Instead of getting the value, they also want the partnership in the value creation. So as such situation is changing, economic situation is changing, then we must leadership must change. So we have a new form of leadership, and that is called the connected leadership. Initially, this leadership we should see on the C level employees or a C level leader, because it requires a lots of initiation, lots of initiatives that require a good vision and programs that will help to develop a particular community within the organization, and that will help each other to respond to the change. As you know that command and control leadership no longer works. Leading business transformation in today's complex, unpredictable world is about connecting. Connected leadership creates agile, collaborative, customer-centered business that are responsive to the change. So it is about leading through influence and engagement. The engagement is a very specific word that people want, because in today's environment, we also seen in the job market, people are not that much engaged, and they are changing their job frequently. They also want the work life balance. So the organization need to engage their employee first. Leaders connect and communicate based on the consistent set of assumptions and beliefs. So what leaders do. Leaders have to change their belief, their assumptions about the organization. Sorry. Most of us have learned about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He divided the human need into two categories: deficiency needs and growth needs. The idea is that until you have satisfied your deficiency needs, you will not begin to focus on your growth needs. However, while starting from a valuable insight, most leaders end up with the failed engagement strategy. They assert that only people with the high level of income or education who have taken care of their physiological and security needs can direct and spend their effort toward the self actualization, that is the meaning of life. The reasoning goes something like this: customers with the low levels of disposable income have little discretionary spend and therefore will primarily buy essential products at the very lowest price. The same type of reasoning is also applies inside the organization for employee who are in a manual job only seek income to meet their basic needs and therefore do not seek the same level of engagement as knowledge workers. But a fact is that in developed economies, most of us have climbed beyond the basic level of the pyramid. So, as defined by Maslow, leaders, this carries an important lesson. The pyramid is not quite the shape we thought it was. So now this pyramid is just looks like this. Still physiological needs, sorry, still psychological needs are just seek by the people, as well as self-fulfillment needs are on the priority. So we can understand this by taking the example of a dieters and fake good consumers. The socio-economic makeup of a dieter is varied. Poor and rich unite the fight against the flame. Why would people express their self-actualization need, the highest order need, by starving themselves, thereby rejecting their lowest order needs? The need to be someone here is indeed stronger than the need to be. The same paradox applies in the world of fake goods. Why would you want to purchase a fake Armani shirt for more money than it would cost to get non-branded shirt? The only possible explanation is that your need for identity is satisfied by the brands you wear, but you do not have enough money for that genuine article. Now, as in the summary, I have just explained that a human being is considered as a whole person. But when we see an employee that is a human doing, and we see the customer as a human wanting, human being is divided into two roles. That is, that they have their own boundaries. The transactions are happening in their boundaries, that is a clearly defined boundaries among human doing and human wanting, that is a between employee and customer. But when we try to reconnect them to the human being, we have a dysfunctions. The contractual nature of the relationship was clear and produced the transactions in the case of a human doing and human wanting. However, when individuals reconnect with the being, these strategies lead to the dissonance. And let me explain such dissonance. Human beings take offense at working more than living as they search for a definition of who they are that is broader than that of more economic units. Business must learn to connect to human beings who are neither solely a doing or solely a wanting. The recent increase in the spying software on employees' computers, as well as data gathering tools on a customer's behaviors, would have gone unnoticed in the doing and wanting world. But that is unacceptable in the human being world, and they feel that is unacceptable and intrusive. The way organization use the data, e.g. purchase and the performance as a surrogate for the knowledge in the building of a relationship alliances, individuals who desire to be rather than want. So this is regarding the customer data. With norms of employment and consumptions resembling contractual agreements. So here at both the end, they have some contract and the agreement. But the new in the new economy, the people economy, that is not acceptable. Now it is well understood by the customer and employee that their economic role entailed acceptance of the organization desire for control. So they feel that the organization is controlling them. Today in a being world, this is widely resented. Human beings want a relationship. Economic unit and data have never been a substitute for dialogue. So now what people want. So I would like to take one example and say that I have two friends which were not knowing each other, Ketan and Kavita, and I was their common friend. They don't know I am their common friend. They were in search for their soulmate. So how they go for it? Will their parent find perfect match in the communities where they belong? If not, will they register themselves in the marriage sites and look for perfect match? Or they engage themselves on the social media and get perfect partner for them? So it depends on what are the contexts. So in older days, the their parents find their perfect match in their communities. In the middle age, the people are registering themselves on the marriage site because they want a particular person that complement with them. They want to know their nature. They want to know whether they are like-minded or not. But again, in these two situations, we have found that there is one agent. Okay, and this new economy, people economy, they are not accepting any mediator. They want to be a independent. So they are looking for meaning in their lives, yet they reject the organization dictated experience. They are more focused on themselves as individuals, yet they yearn to be member of the communities. So as I have given the example, uh, the people are going for the social media to be a part of a community that is a like-minded people community, and from that they get the perfect match or a perfect partner. Nowadays they want to be secure in a deep relationship, yet they don't want to be dependent. So as said that they don't want any other third person to be to have some decision to be taken by them. So with this, we can just go through the intrinsic desires of a people in the people economy. See, basic needs are just overcome, but the intrinsic desires are curiosity. They need to think, they want to master in something, feel capable, need influence or feel, want a power, want a freedom, autonomy, that is a, being an individual. They want some status in the society. They also want the acceptance. So until and unless they connect with the community, they can't get the feedback of a approval. They want to relate. They want a relatedness, that is a relationship, that is a social contact. Also, they want to be a loyal with that community to which they want to belong. And the last one, that is the goal, that is a their ideal, to be someone of their idol. So as we have seen what are the context change, what the people want, so let's revisit that economy. What in people economy, these parameters, that is these four parameters, we can compare with the these three economy, the drivers of the value. So in the business, what drives that creates the value? So here, feeling wants and needs through products. So products drives. Here they are going for the experiences. But in people economy, they are searching for meaning and identity through relationship. Who is generating the idea in the consumption economy? Here, the responsibility of an organization is generated by its understanding of what see as a fit for purpose products. So, say whenever any product is generated, generally in a consumption economy, that is generated first, which is they feel that it is a fit for purpose in the market. But in the experience economy, this responsibility of the organization primarily through research, contacts with the consumers, and information exchange with the suppliers. So here they exchange the information because they want some feedback from the customers to improve their product. But in the people economy, as I have previously said, they want to co-creation through their deep relationship with the organization. That is, they want to give the idea for the products and services. Sorry. Here, product and service creation is defined by internal sources. Here, with the organization and marketing department, and here by the customer through network of experience providers. And in the consumption economy, or the execution is organization based. In experience economy, that is also organization and supplier based. But in people economy, that execution is done by the individual and the network based. So here, co-creation is only possible when each of the individual, the employee can hand to hand work with the customer as a network, as a community, and give the output. So let me just quickly give the leadership concept. As we just see, the leader need to be respond to business and economic change. They need to engage the people via co-creation of a meaning, as the people economy wants. This particular situation has its own challenge. with the formal organization that we will see, because it is based on economic incentives, and the co-creation cannot be done in the economic incentives. And for that, they need to form a new form of the organization that is based on the social and the moral connection. That is a agile real. Here, in this agile and real, the leader's influence is a different. The key components to create this social and moral connection is the leader have a trust, meaning, and dialogue. So these are the three components that drives the connected leadership. We will also see the characteristics of the connected leader. That is inspirational, authentic, they share the power, and they are explorer. So as a inspirational leader, they build belief in a shared sense of a purpose and a vision. In terms of authentic, they act with the integrity and earn the trust. By sharing power, they involve others and encourage them to take the responsibility. And then co-creation can be possible. For in terms of a collaboration, they share the knowledge, they seek ideas and encourage the cooperation. In the means of explorers, always learning and seeking new ideas. They need to do this because they want, as they want, people want to co-create with them, then there is a risk. And if they are not learning and seeking the new ideas, they are not able to encourage and motivate the others. So by understanding these characteristic of connected leaders and developing them, two valuable goals are achieved. The real organization is developed and cultivated either by increasing the web of connections and deriving general benefits, or by realigning connections to match the formal organization. Both the approach build sufficient agility to ensure customer engagement and resilience to the context change that we have discussed. Here, leader are facing increasing role of ambiguity, perform more effectively, benefit their organization and themselves, because they don't have, here they are not considering their role boundaries. They are come up with the new ideas, they are connecting with the people informally, so he has a multiple roles, and that is also ambiguous. So what happen is, to build the community of a connection, he need to learn more, as well as he will be providing more value to the organization. So let's see a formal organization. We can just define it as a goal oriented entity that exists to accurate the efforts of individuals, and it refers to the structures of jobs and positions with clearly defined functions, responsibilities, and authorities. But as we have seen that with this structure, we have many challenges. The formal is by definition designed. Once the organization has been created, it aims to collect as many data as possible in order to remove discrepancy from plan to action. The resulting predictive model defines anything unplanned as undesirable. So this deconstructed human being, I wanting and doing only provide limited resources in an engagement intensive people economy. When the organizational chart becomes overcrowded with the boxes and lines, straight and twisted, solid and dotted, everything becomes complicated. Unless the organization can operate cross-functionally, customer co-creation needs will go unanswered. But organizations do evolve and have evolved. So here, how organization is going to respond to challenge? Basically, from the formal organization, they are going to build the community, and that community will build the agile organization. So here you can see the people don't have a hierarchy. They are not a formal organization. They are a web of a connection. And here, connected leaders need to do a mapping between this formal and real organization. You can see the real organization is in the form of a web of connection. Here, formal organization is designed for engagement based on the horizontal relationship of a reciprocity and the behaviors that foster the relationship. A relationship between individuals can be represented as a network of connections or interactions that are not hierarchical in the form. Each node in the network connects to the several or many other nodes, building of social and moral incentives. So you can see by getting real how the organization, individual, and their leaders become a web of connection. Uh, the dark dots that represent the connected leaders who are also considered as a power clicks or a hub. Here, the networks are forming. So it is the process in the formation. Here, there is a one network is going on, but it is the isolated one. So as the process go on, it will also become like this. The value in the formal and agile organization. So we can see what are the roles here, how value is created, what is the focus. Here, consistent delivery of a core offering is there. Here, co-creation opportunity is there. The purpose of that layer in the formal is a functional structure, while in the layer that is we can call it the layer, real layer, have co-creation through the networks. There are also a different role of a supplier, customer, and employee. In the formal organization, supplies lowest possible cost, customer purchase at the price, employee confirm and obey with the organization. But in the real organization, the supplier engage in the co-creation process driven for compatible unique purpose and help to write co-creation script. So they will also give the input in terms of what is the current market going on, how they can provide the more quality. They can also understand the customer. They here customer role is to orchestrate the co-creation, while the employee role is to sense that co-creation opportunities and manage the risk. That is a co-creation risk because it is not the planned one, and whatever the unplanned is just creating the risk. Here, the output is just operating plans, tactical plans, investment budgets. Financial focus is bottom line results and cash flows. And here, your economic focus is a profit achievement, ROI, cost, productivity, efficiency. But here, we have a economic measure in terms of project based milestone, rate of conversion from idea to co-created business launch, because here see ideas are coming from customers also, and within the organization also, not for the particular functional department where idea is generated, but for from the whole organization in the informal form of web of the connection. So that is the advantage to the real organization. So let's just have a review of a Airbnb business model. Here you can see the community, that is customer relationship. Here also the key resource are the host community and the people. You can say the customer segment is also a kind of a community, traveler community, host community, and the experience provider, that is the event organization. The another model is a Facebook business model. Here you also know that they are building the community. The customer relationship is based on the same side network effects, here cross side network effects. And the customer segment is users and advertisers. Here you can also see the resources are of network effects from the user. So you can say that value proposition is done by connecting with the friends and relevant and accurate targeting of advertisements. So here co-creation happens. The same way as the Facebook, LinkedIn is the professional community where the similar kind of a same side network effect and cross side network effects are going on. In the key resource also, they have a network effects. So ultimately, what I want to convey with this business model is now our business is changing. The way we are doing business is changing. We are engaging the people same as we are engaging them in the community, and we take the advantage of our informal connection. Formal organization is always there, but while forming the real organization, we speed up the execution. We make some kind of a innovation that will benefit the whole community. Here, how leader can succeed. So this is the what formal and real organization is and what is the role or what leader can do. That we have initially seen is trust. They need to be a trustworthy and have trust in others. That only enable the organization to manage the risk of co-creation. Without trust, there is a risk. Meaning, they give the meaning to the relationship by uniting the stakeholders around shared agenda. The another thing is dialogue. They encourage dialogue and powerful conversation as a way to secure the engagement. So let's just check. Say since 1950s, there are different kind of a leadership is there that is evaluated, and there the shared approach is increasing. And currently we are in the uh, 2010 where the connected leadership is prevalent. Now, what are the five signs of a connected leaders? They are inspirational. That we have already seen these five. This is the framework that has been derived so far. These are the element. Also, they are called as a four category of a leadership skills and ability, known as a behavioral meta competency. So these has been taken from the book The Connected Leader, creating an agile organization for people, performance and profit by Emmanuel Golbit. So these are the takeaway that uh, I have discussed here in this session.
Thank you, JD.
Yeah,
Thank you for. I think we have actually crossed the time, so we may not be having time for Q&A. But still, I would like to ask one question.
yeah.
How challenging is this to apply when to transform the traditional leadership to the agile leadership? Uh, have you come across this particular experience?
Yeah, actually, I have come across one trainee. You might be wondering. I have one trainee name. Surname was a Hindocha. He was not given
Mhm.
the formal authority. So, as you know that during their trainee, intern are only interested in the project definition and the project report they need to submit. So they want to be a part of a live project, but we have asked them that until unless you prove the competence to be in that project, you are not going to be managed by any project lead, or you will not be a part of any team. So we haven't given them any formal authority, but he was competent enough during the training time. He has shown his competency, and slowly I have observed him. He was just making connection with the other team members in the free time, that is in a lunch time or a tea time. He observed who is working on what, who is having a which kind of a issue, which kind of a problem. By understanding this, he come to know. So some people have a problem, and the other team or other group have a solution for them. So he become liaison for that. So we can say that he became a trusted channel. So I can say that during this whole process, he is creating a web of connection and a community that rely on that particular person. I i can call him as a connected leader.
Okay, thank you very much. Uh, so with this, I think we will end this session. For
Yeah, thank
participants,
you.
if you have any questions, please connect Jaideep on LinkedIn, and you can post your questions to Jaideep, which he will be happy to answer. Thank you, Jaideep. Thank you for the session.
Yeah, thank you all.
We will.